I've seen people say, you know, like the music will sell itself, or, you know, the art will sell itself. And then I saw someone say, no, it won't. Like, the first time you heard a song, sometimes it's in a movie. You didn't just find the song, you heard it in a movie. Or your friend was like, did you hear that new album? Nah, I didn't. Or have you heard this new artist? No, I haven't. They're like, that's kind of how it goes. So I get you, because I've done creative things where it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna let it be, and the people that it needs to find, it'll find. Because sometimes you don't want to have to do that, because then you feel some people just don't want to be sold. You know what I mean? They like, if I like it, I'll get it. But sometimes it's like, you say that until I tell you why this would resonate with you, right? And then they're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Exactly. I had to tell you that. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Highlight Reel. As you see today, I have some special guests. I met these two at DreamCon because they got some interesting stuff going on. But I'm going to let them go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, my name is Trey Small. I'm part of Bigg41.
Yeah.
What's good, y'all? My name is Brock, and I'm also part of Bigg41.
Okay, so actually, I didn't know Bigg41 was the group name at first. I thought that was like your Instagram name, and that was just your name. Yeah, y'all want to explain that real quick? Cause I ain't know
that part is a little messy. I feel like it was just at a point where it's like I didn't want to make a new Instagram for everything. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to just keep it at. It started off as it's just my name and shit like that. Yeah. But it's interesting the reason behind it. So when I was a kid, my nickname was Biggie Smalls. So like obviously Biggie Smalls. My last name was Small. I think middle school I had to choose like a new number, and I just like randomly chose 41. And then like my dad, he was like, "Oh shit!" Like that was my football number when I was there. And also like my grandpa was like born in like 1941, so it's just that number shows up in my life a lot. Yeah. It means I'm a butcher. It definitely has something to do with me like being prosperous. Yeah.
It's like biblical, or it's like some
it's not biblical.
Okay.
Check.
Because like I've known about Bigg41, right? It's not Bigg41. Like I know some people make that certain distinction, but I didn't know that was the group name necessarily. I just had got hip to Trey, and then of course I saw y'all at DreamCon. This jersey, by the way, was from DreamCon, but after I saw y'all at DreamCon, I didn't know that was a thing until literally just now. So I was like, let me go ahead and ask about that. I didn't know that.
Sure, go ahead.
It's the number 41 is associated with hope, promise, and the dawn of a new beginning. So,
okay.
I didn't know that till after the fact.
And that's what led y'all to lead to become Bigg41.
Yeah. Well, I created the name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. Tell the people where y'all from real quick. Let's kind of get this out the way, because earlier we was talking about where everybody's from, and Brock specifically had confused me, so I want you to kind of explain that real quick. Real quick. Yeah.
3 different cities, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess okay. So I guess I'll go first. So for me, I was originally born in Columbus, Ohio. So I lived in Columbus, Ohio for like a year and a half. So my dad, he got a job in Charlotte. So then we moved to Charlotte around like 2001, 2002, something like that. And then, so I lived there up until 2018. So basically I was raised in Charlotte. And then after that, I went to college at Ohio State, which is where I met Trey at. So I spent a little bit of time in Columbus. And then now currently I live in Seattle, where I work at Microsoft. So.
Okay. Solid. Cool. That's great. All right, Trey, where are you from?
Cincinnati, man.
Yes.
Flex
the muscle.
513, man.
Yeah, flex the muscle real quick.
But yeah, I've been here my whole life. I moved up to Columbus for school 2019. So I was there for like about 5 years and then moved back. So yeah.
Cool. And then once again, as your host, you already know where I'm from. You should by this point, but I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio as well. So the reason why I was very intrigued by what these two have been doing is because they started a comic called The 513, so I did buy 2 copies. This is the first copy, and this is the first issue and the second issue. So let me go ahead and that's it right there. Editor, zoom in if you can. Yeah, this is it right here. And then this is issue 2 as well. So I think when this airs, it's only gonna be these 2 out that are out so far. But I feel like I had to get something like that because, again, I'm always talking about where I'm from. I always take pride in where I'm from. So when I saw that this was a comic about Cincinnati, or at least a lot of it is with Cincinnati, because I know that there's parts of Columbus that are in it as well. I was like, oh snap, I need parts. And plus, I like comics. I'm into anime, games. Obviously, we met at DreamCon, so obviously we share some of these interests. Right, so I was like, okay, cool, because I wanted to try and shoot with y'all really whenever, but I was like, after DreamCon would be perfect, because now I've actually met y'all. Y'all got to see me be a fan of y'all, because I did ask for both of y'all's autograph. Like, when I asked for their autograph, Brock was there. Trey was not there yet, and I was like, okay, I'm coming back. Like, I gotta come back.
I was like, hey, bro, come back.
I was like, I gotta come back to get both, because were people asking y'all for your autographs?
Yeah. So
okay, cool.
So we kind of like, it just kind of just depends. Like I always like offer them like, hey, like, do you want it? Like some people just be like, no, I want a plain book. I'm like, yeah, go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I thought it was important again, because even though you're not exactly from Cincinnati, you're from Ohio, and then you had something to do with this beautiful piece of art right here. Right, so I was like, I want to make sure that I can, show appreciation for it, because like, I know that appreciation can go a long way. You'll be like, man, he was really a fan. We got some real fans out here. We need to keep doing this. So yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that there's someone out there that appreciates it. Because when I first saw it, I said, oh, I need parts. Where y'all at? What can we do? Let's do something. So yeah, I want y'all to go ahead and talk about the 513 a little bit. Go ahead and talk about the comic. So what are some things that inspired it, that helped bring it to life, those kinds of things?
So as like, if you like read the synopsis log line, it's a story about 3 black kids growing up in Cincinnati, Ohio. They're all from like different parts of the city. So Chris is the main character. He's up from the suburbs. James is from Avondale, and then Kelvin's from the West End. So yeah, like just wanted to kind of capture a lot of these different identities and personalities, because one of the core roots of the story is like, coming of age, but like also like black masculinity. That's one of the things I studied when I was in school. And just like all the different ways that can like look like, but then on top of the fact that those different, I guess, intersectionalities within like our community, they're often pitted against each other. You know what I mean? Like, niggas real territory.
For real.
Niggas real territory. So like, I don't know, it's kind of want to speak to that. But yeah, it's so basically on one night they all like get in trouble with the law, and like the story's like built in a way where it's like all interconnected. How like they get arrested, and then in order to like basically like keep their record clean, one of the mentors comes in at the end of this issue too. So basically says like, this is not a spoiler because it's like the purpose of the series, but you can join this mentor program in order to keep their record clean if you make it through, and should be good. But the problem with the program is, and you'll find this out later, is that like you kind of see there's like a correlation, or kind of like serves as like an allegory for, honestly, like the school to prison pipeline.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I guess I can talk a little bit about that more. So for me, I was a public policy major back at OSU. So my specialization was in like urban studies. So within this, I really wanted to include some different things, about that, right? So we learned a lot of different things about just like communities, especially like black communities as well, and kind of how that works. And we learned like a whole bunch of stats as far as like, how likely a black child will be if they just have something like a black teacher or a black mentor, and like how that like increases like your likeliness to graduate and to prosper and things like that. I think it's something like spitballing, just making up a stat, but it's like if you have like things like for every like black teacher that you have, you're like 5-10% more likely to graduate, insert whatever metric. It's something like that.
Okay.
But also too, we wanted to integrate some things just as far as like kind of like public policy, because remember we talked a little bit, you'll see some more details. Like, so I'm trying to say things without giving things away.
Yeah, I get you.
Being that this is a government ran program that's ran by the city, okay, like how can government and how can like local government be able to impact young kids and young children? So it's a little bit of that in there as well.
Okay, so as you can see, it's look, once again, boom and then boom. Like, it looks extremely cool, but as you can hear, it gets deeper than that. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't fully gotten to read them yet, but now that I know that, it's gonna give me something else to think about as I'm reading it, because I'm like, oh snap, it's deeper than just what I'm looking at, which I think is beautiful, because it's always one thing to make something cool, but to hear what the real message is behind it. Like you said, it's like, because on the first issue it says the tale of 3 cities, and then you're saying it's people that are from different parts of the city, and because they're from different parts of the city, they kind of show different characteristics, different traits, and then how those work together. Because you were talking about masculinity. I'm like, because there are certain, I won't say which area, but there are certain areas, just like in any city, where it might be a little more rough, and then other areas that are, you know, suburban. So it's like, if you are, because usually people are like, if you're an inner city kid, you might be a little more tough than a suburban kid or whatever. But I'm very sure that within this art, you'll be able to see how those characteristics clash or work together to make sure that they, you know, make it through the story, as you were basically alluding to. So okay. I want to ask you, because it is called the 513. And then once I learned where you were from, I was like, the 513 is nowhere in there. So how did you feel like you contributed to this? Because I was wondering if you felt weird at all, maybe talking about a city, mainly about a city that you maybe kind of aren't super familiar with or aren't from.
Yeah, so like for me, Ohio's always had like a special place like in my heart because my whole family's from Ohio.
Right.
So my family, so my mom's from Toledo, and then my dad, he's from Youngstown, and then like I said, I was born in Columbus, so I got a whole bunch of family in Ohio. Initially, kind of when me and Trey met, he told me about how he really was passionate about having it in Cincinnati. So I was like, all right, bet. So for me, I guess the way that I contribute is that, you know, I provide, you know, my experience when I think about my experience, like growing up. You know? Because for me, like kind of where I live at least Charlotte, I'm kind of split in between like, you know, suburbs, but also like kind of like in the hood. Yeah. One of the things that you'll see, like, especially like within the South, a lot of places is like you could literally like cross a bridge or cross or wherever, and like you're in the hood or you're in like the suburban area, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I wanted to be able to provide like it's my experience as like a Black male, and also thinking about like to my younger experience too. So you'll see like within the story, like, you know, some of our experiences, some of the stuff is based on like things that like actually happened. Yeah. But you know, that's kind of the way that like, you know, I include some of my things, man. So we really, because at the end of the day, we want to make this real. Yeah. Like, you know, we do talk a lot about like the, you know, the overall things, but like you'll see in there like some of the jokes and things like that. Like, hey, we be in the lab. You say, I mean, we was chatting up earlier, but you see like kind of how like people, like the kids, they be on each other's ass sometimes. Yeah. Like, you know, like you be in class, you be like, hey man, I know you ain't coming in there with that hat, bro. Like, you know, like we doing it. So a lot of the stuff is just like from a comedic and a writing perspective. I try to make sure I add as much as I can.
Cool.
And I'll say, just to add on to that, it's one thing I was like just learning about and just kind of somewhat struggling a bit, you know, when I was in college. You know, when you tell a story that's like so unique and niche, they like often questions like, all right, well, who's the audience for? You know what I'm saying? Or ask, like, how are you gonna get it out there? Like, how do you make this matter to people? You know, and like that kind of goes to the thing of like, who do you make art for? And like it kind of gets to the area, like, how do I say this? Pandering feels like a weird word, but just like you have to like cater to audiences and stuff like that. But the more you do that, the less authentic it gets.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get where you're going.
I had a couple of like colleagues in college and stuff like that, and they were just like, the fact that it's so niche and the fact that you were so authentic to your story, and like I can just see how these characters interact with each other. Like I can relate to that. I'm Filipino, like not me, like my friend. He was like, I'm Filipino, but I can kind of understand like the dynamics, how like. That's in my family. I have like a standoffish cousin I got beef with, you know, or like we have a certain way of like slang, in their case, language and stuff like that, and that they use to communicate that people understand. But the connection is what people can recognize. And exactly. Like, so people can relate to, even if you never touch down in Cincinnati.
Exactly. Right. Because I wanted to touch on that really quick. So when I saw y'all at DreamCon, I was thinking, so first, like I said, I was fanning out. I was like, right here, finally, I get to meet him, right? But at the same time, I was thinking about, this is deep to me. Like, I'm from here. I rep this. Like, this is me through and through, right? But I was thinking, we are in Houston, Texas, and not everybody is from here. There are many people that are from Cincinnati, of course, that were there that I got to meet and whatnot. But most of the people that are there are probably not. So I was wondering, I wonder if they're like, how are other people resonating with it? Because sometimes as we were walking past, I'm looking at everything and it's like, whether it was Kendrick Lamar, my favorite artist, or just me appreciating the art that I know somebody from my city did, or just seeing something about my city on there, it was resonating with me strongly. But I was wondering if it was the same thing for other people, and maybe how y'all are feeling about that. Because I know that's something that could be something that's something that you might struggle with, because it's like, all right, we're literally stamping the city on, you know, what this art is, but not everyone is from there. So how would they resonate? So how were y'all feeling about that? What were you gonna say?
Yeah, because I would say I can definitely speak to that. Because like, for example, one of my favorite shows is Atlanta. right? You ever seen Atlanta before?
Yeah.
So like, that's kind of a goofy question, but like, you know, just because the show is Atlanta doesn't mean that like I'm not gonna resonate with it. You know what I'm saying? But like you see like a lot of like Atlanta cultural things, like when you see like some of the clubs they go to, for the one episode where they have like the lemon pepper wet. Yeah, that's like a very like, you know what I'm saying? That's a very like Atlanta thing. But there's also some surreal aspects to Atlanta that makes me want to watch the show, like even though I'm not from there. Yeah. So, you know, with the 513, are you going to see some definitely like Cincinnati specific things? Yeah, because we want to stay close to the source material and we want to make sure that it's authentic. But at the same time, you're also going to see some different things in there that's just like overall anybody can relate to it and anybody can like be entertained. And I feel like the 513, it being named that, people always ask you the questions because they're like, yo, what is like the 513? What area code is this? It's like, yo, you know what? Like, I'm glad you asked. Let me go ahead and explain it. So it's like, it helps us out too, man.
Yeah.
The area code is definitely what like kind of, it obviously like intrigues people's questions. Like if it's simple and it leads you like, all right, like, tell me more, you know, like, and it's even more important that we're in a place that people don't know about it. Because that's how you, like you said, putting on a map, like you know, like,
I love this.
Right. Because it's like you make it out to these big cities and shit like that. And like, then niggas get to ask questions and that's kind of why you let people know, you know. One of my homies, he was from Houston, may he rest in peace. But he, remember when we were, a couple years back, he basically we just kind of he was talking about how he was from Houston. I was talking about like Midwest, but like you know the saying like people don't see is like not much going on out here. It's like
right,
just like a lot of cornfields and stuff like that, yada yada yada. But like, he was just like, okay, but because I said growing up, I used to pull like a lot of like influence from like New York or like LA, given like the hip hop scene or just like the art scene and stuff like that. And he was just like, bro, like, I know there's big cities and all that, but we like draw inspiration from the Midwest. Y'all don't understand like how y'all are able to make culture out of like nothing.
You know? Right. I was gonna say, don't say nothing, but maybe not a New York or LA or Houston and Atlanta. I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was important to me really because it was, and essentially that's Black people as a whole. Right. We always know how to make culture out of nothing. Like
talk that talk.
Yeah.
Talk that talk.
It's that's real. But yeah, then and to his point, you know, we definitely can't stray too far. If you, especially in the second issue, there's like a lot of Easter eggs to like certain like landmarks. I'm pretty sure like the Cincinnati, like the Blue Bridge on like Exit 9, UC campus, Richie's.
Yeah, like, bruh. When I saw Richie's, I said, "Oh yeah, you got me. You got me,
yeah, bro."
Yeah,
So yeah, stuff like that people can recognize. Just like, oh shit, like I go there all the time.
Yeah,
stuff like that, and or. Yeah, so stuff like that.
Yeah, I like, you brought up a good point because I think that it is very cool how you can show things that are very specific to the area, but then of course some of the experiences that you are reading and that you're seeing within the context of the story, you're like, I can still relate, even though, like for example, I'm not from Atlanta, but you can watch Atlanta and say, oh, I've never seen this. This is something I can look for when I go, right? But then there's something that's actually happening in the story. It's like, oh man, when I have this issue with this person, that's how I deal with it. Or whenever I have something like this going on in my family, that's what tends to happen. Just those things that show this is what's different and this is why you should be interested, but this is also why you can resonate it and why you'll feel like you relate, because it will relate, you know, it will resonate. So yeah, I'm, again, like I said, I'm happy to see this because anything about my city, I'm a fan of. Like, I'm basically a fan of. It's other than when people hating. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say the Bengals ain't good, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually a UC fan first.
So, man.
So, Ohio State. I know y'all went to Ohio State. We ain't got to get into that today. But, yeah, like, I just love seeing these kinds of things because it shows that someone else has the same pride in where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? And then just being from Ohio, like I love when people can really rest and have pride in that, because people act like, what's in Ohio? I go anywhere else, they're like, where is that? What's in there?
But
I'm
that's
like,
my
what?
thing, though, because like I feel like at least in Ohio, like you can name 3 major cities like Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus,
and they all start with C.
And that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, and I feel like you would know. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to like other states, like you're not gonna say the same thing.
Oh, interesting take.
No shade. But I'm saying like, okay, for example, like I live in Washington, right?
Right.
Name a city in Washington other than Seattle.
Spoke. Spokane?
Okay. But exactly, you're thinking about it though, right?
I like Spokane.
Like you could go be like, oh yeah, Columbus, Cincinnati, like in Cleveland. You know, disagree with me if you want to, like argue with your mom.
I feel like you got a point. You got somewhat of a point. You know okay. What were some of the hardships that y'all kind of went through and trying to create something like this?
You said say it again.
Like, what were some of the problems that y'all ran into trying to create something like this?
Hella.
What did we not go through?
Because you don't have to get in.
Hey, yo, what did we not go through? I'll let you start first, man.
Always be against us, bro. Time,
okay.
Yeah. Like, life just be life, man.
Right.
And, you know, just... Like the first issue, this is weird, but like we had actually started it back in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, like the very first DreamCon we went to, like we only had like the first 4 pages drawn out. We had like as a little teaser on the table you could flip through and stuff like that. But
wow. So y'all kind of, it sounds like y'all kind of started and then just let things go from there. Basically, like you didn't have everything ready. You just kind of took a leap.
Yeah, bro. Because it's like, I mean. Like no like deep shit or real shit, but like niggas get depressed and stuff like that, and it kind of it thwarts the art flow, and you can't rush it out, especially with something I was like trying to like get right so much. Like, you know, it took a while, but since then we actually had so for my senior thesis I made a short film based off of like all the events. Basically, it happens after the events in the book, and the book like leads to the events up into the film, basically. So I spent some time working on that, and then went back to working on the comic books. I was like, all right, like I gotta like keep going. I want to like flesh the story out so people can like understand the context of like what's happening in the thing. But so then like I started back up production with that. We think. Really like 2024 is when we like hunkered down and finished the whole thing. Really, so it was a nice
like issue 1 and 2.
Issue 2 was this year, starting in January, leading all the way up till DreamCon.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So so for the second issue, things happen a lot faster.
Oh, for like sure. I thought the fast track.
Like literally, like the books came in like. Like they literally came in, like that's what we mean, like when we say like literally, like because I mean Trey will tell you like when we first started, like so me and Trey we met like my senior year, right? Like literally we would like I was like longboarding on campus one day, but we actually met at a party during the pandemic. We met at a party during the pandemic, but then I met him again, and I was skating around campus. I was like, "Oh, yo, what's good, bro?" Like we just like we literally like I never met this. Like I only saw him that one time, and we just like was skating around the campus. Went to like the parking garage, and he was like, "Yo, like you pretty cool, man." And then later he had told me, he's like, "Yo, like I've been working on like this thing, but he's like I'm trying to like flesh it out more. Like, can you help me?" Right? So we would spend like hours upon hours, like he'd be like it'd be like them like I mean how long would it be, like from like 8 p.m. to like 3 sometimes, man. Like we'd just be talking about like and we'd just be talking about the book and just like ideas that we had, and then you know, I mean now you see where it is now. And
the big thing, so that was like the preconception stuff. I mean when it actually gets down to nitty gritty, man, like so especially for the second issue, we had a team for the first issue. Was me, him writing, our friend Taj, she was editing. Actually, I had 3 friends. I had Taj, Deontay. Deontay is also from Taj is from Hamilton, Cincinnati. And Deontay, he's from Avondale. So that's kind of I've known my boy since like 3rd grade. So we kind of like fleshed the story out together, and like he represents some of the characters, I represent some of the characters, you know.
That is cool. That's cool.
But once the team started coming together, like it was kind of like, especially on the art side, this time I added 2 more art, so we had a total of 4 art inkers and stuff like that. So I had to make a whole bunch of like materials to like break down the art style, try to like teach it to people, which that was a headache. I didn't even understand, like, cause it's like I'm not the best teacher really. So right. It's just like I gotta tell you how to pick up a pencil, bro. I don't like all right, you gotta like cause my style, a lot of people, I get this all the time, it looks like Boondocks, you know what I mean? So and that's when I was in like middle school. Like I used to just be obsessed drawing like Riley and Grandpa just all the time and stuff like that. And I think the expressions from that is kind of like what makes my work so strong, because like the black features and the expressions, that's I feel like what people relate to the most. But trying to like get other artists to like be able to like have that same emotion, like you can even draw it the same way, and like the emotion is going to be like totally different based off of like a millimeter of a pen stroke. It makes the more difference.
See, I'm loving hearing this because it's like again, we were at DreamCon, so these are things that people nerd out over, and it's not like this is something that you like, bro. You got to do it just like this, because if you don't, then you gonna miss all of this. You might think that it don't make that much of a difference, but it does. Yeah. I love hearing these kinds of things. And then what was I gonna say? Did y'all feel like it was hard to expand the team outside of y'all? Because I know this is something I like to ask the creatives, especially when they're trying to expand something, because this is something even I struggle with sometimes. As you see, I kind of pulled up and did this myself, right? Mm-hmm. So I always think it's kind of interesting when you have to somewhat relinquish a little bit of the control to let other people help you grow this thing that is so near and dear to you. And it's like, if you mess this up, I'm almost take it personal, because it started from my brain, and it's like, you are messing this thing up that I have a vision for. Like, was that hard for y'all, or was it a little relieving?
Trust is a hard thing of mine when it comes to art. Like,
okay.
I'm the same way, where it's just like, I've been doing like my way for so long. It's just like, all right, it has to look like this. But letting down those walls is like, when you like, it can, like, you know, it could take it to the next level. It can like cause you to think about in a different way. Like Taj, like, she'll look at someone's like, yeah, bro, you could have said that. You could have took that 3-sentence like phrase and like put it down to like half a sentence. I'm like, oh shit, you right. Yeah. Like I am a pretty wordy motherfucker. Like I take it too far and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But having that, like, you can never go wrong with more perspectives. It's the way you got to go about it though, because when it's too earlier on, like, it's just like everybody's putting in, and then it's kind of hard to sift through. So like having that direction first, and then people like understanding the direction and kind of building off of that is what's better. You know what I mean? But I feel bad because I also wanted to mention the team. So like the art team, so we have like Brahm and Sophia, went to school with them as well. And then when I went to Cali for it was a Afro animation summit. That's where I met Morty and Christians, who the new additions on the team. So like, yeah, that was kind of trying to get cool. Like, so learning their skills and like trying to like understand how we work together. Like, it was a big trust thing, really, you know. And like what came out of that, you see in the book, like you can see there's like different styles throughout the book. So like, that's one thing critique I will say. We have to like moving forward, have a thing every little more solidified, but at the same time though, like, can't take away from the fact that I really liked how everyone was like moving as a unit.
Yeah, right. I was gonna add somewhat of a little, quick 2 cents, like how some things might look a little different at times. I think that's probably okay, because the first example that came to my mind is Dragon Ball Z. Okay, yeah, we all know what Dragon Ball Z is. Okay, obviously, right? Yeah. So I don't know if y'all have ever noticed, but like OG Dragon Ball Z, not high definition, but it's like,
is it polished?
When they come through and like update it, like you had Dragon Ball Z, you had Dragon Ball Z Kai. Remastered, it's like not remastered, right? I think if you watch 3 episodes in a row, one looks like that, just the styles of them are very different. It's all the same show, but on this episode, it's like it's extremely detailed. Then this episode is more so focused on the action, so maybe it's not as detailed, but the action looks better than it would have in the other episode with different editors and publishers and whatnot. And then you have a whole nother episode with a different team. It's all the same team, but you still somewhat get different products. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed that. I have.
I haven't watched it that in depth, but like so Avatar, for instance, this is so small because they do a great job making everything seamlessly. But like the first season, like you can literally like, I think, because what they said was like they switched. I think their studios were based in Korea, but they had 3 animation studios. Like an episode of a TV show like takes months to make, so you have to commission like different like animation studios to do different ones. So like you'll have like Studio Mirror, they have a certain way of doing it, and then the other studio, you can tell like the episode, like the eyes just look different. Like
that's what I was saying.
Their expressions look different, so it's just it's very minute. But like if you like pay close enough attention, you can kind of see.
Because Dragon Ball Z is it's obviously one of my loves or whatever, but it's one of the first animes and one of the only animes I could think of. Not saying any other anime does not do that, of course, but I've noticed if I'm watching 10 episodes, it seems like almost every 3 episodes, the style changes. Like one episode is this way, second episode is this way, the third episode is this way.
It's like the original series?
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't watched that.
I don't know. I don't know how they explain it, but it changes throughout the episodes. And it makes sense to me because there'll be some episodes where it's like, dang, it's so detailed, it's super clean. Then it's another episode where there are certain features that are exaggerated that weren't in the last episode, but you can tell the difference. So I'm just saying, if that happens in your art, that might be something that people think art is cool, because in a whole different other anime, basically, I'm like, oh, I can peep that. So just something to maybe keep in mind, just in case you ever feel like, I know you want to make it as perfect as you can, but again, there is some good things in imperfection. So I'm like, that might be kind of cool. So yeah, so you do feel like it's been hard to trust others to help you expand it, but you were able to let those walls down and it has helped.
Yeah, okay. For sure.
I would say, because kind of like for me, because I mean, because me and Trey have talked about this like a little bit. I think a lot of it is just making sure that you have roles that are assigned and you have like clearly defined roles. So like, for example, like with Trey, he's basically like our creative director, right? So as far as like how the art should look like, organized and all that, like that's cool, right? So for me, I manage all of our operations. So like anything tax wise, what conventions we're gonna go to, like cost per unit, like all that other kind of stuff. Like I handle that.
That's beautiful.
You know, and then like we have our, you know, Taj is our editor. Then we have like, you know, Brahm and Sophia. Those are like some of our additional artists that we work with. So it's like, it's the thing about creating a team is just making sure that you have assigned roles. And then when you're in that like process of, okay, like ideation, I would say just, in my personal opinion, have the least amount of heads in that space. And then when you want to be like, okay, I want to really expand this out. Okay, then go ahead and be like, this is what it is. I need you to help me with this. And I feel like you'll be a lot more successful with that, because if you have 10 people in a room, everybody's going to want their own thing. Yeah. And you're not going to get anything done. But when you start with maybe one or two, right? Because one of the things that like with me and Trey, like, I mean, like, shoot, like we've argued about like different things, but like, no, like it should happen like this. It should happen like that. But that makes it good, because if I just go ahead and say like it's going to be like this, then it's like,
and you have no fight or no pull.
You know, you're not gonna get no criticism. But like if it was like 10 of us, then we wouldn't do anything. So it's a balance. It's a balance. So like I think it's important to like have a team, but as long as you got the roles, I think it'd be straight.
I'm glad y'all found each other, because again, I think that's something maybe I struggle with personally. It's like, I want you to be able to help me with this, but this maybe it's just a vision that I have, or just like a apprehensiveness that I have towards maybe like helping, like people help me, because it's my thing. That's why I like talking to other people that have something that you've created and you share it with the world. I'm like, I know it takes a process just to get there. Like that's why when y'all were saying, man, what didn't we go through? Like I understand that, because it's like it could be something that y'all disagree on, or it could be something that you have a fear within yourself. You're like, man, this is great. Like everyone's telling me it's great, and you saying, bro, it's missing this one thing. No, it ain't. And then everybody's like, we can't notice that one thing. Right. What is it? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think it's very important, and I'm glad that y'all were able to find each other, because again, I had already known about you, Trey, because I've seen the page, like I've seen your face and all that. But when I saw Brock, I was like, it must be something I'm missing. Who are you? And like, no disrespect. I was like, it's cool. I was like, what's your role? And then once I learned, I said, oh snap, of course, it's a team, like it's a group effort, because I'm figuring it's not one person doing everything, but just meeting someone else that is a part of the team right there. I was like, oh, snap. Okay. So now maybe a question that I can't maybe ask him, or he might not have the answers for, you might. So that's why I think it's a beautiful thing that y'all have y'all got some teamwork going.
Yeah. You got to have like a mutualistic relationship.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. So let's get into some inspirations a little bit, because I feel like while I was setting up, we were talking about, what we were talking about Cartoon Network? Y'all were talking about adventure. We were talking about Steven Universe. Steven Universe. Okay. Okay. So real quick, some questions are like, what did y'all grow up watching? Basically, what y'all grow up watching, and what I want to know what TV channel y'all were watching the most. Because for me personally, I would consider myself a Cartoon Network kid. Dragon Ball Z was on Cartoon Network, or Adult Swim, same channel. Like that's where I was. Then I would see it on other channels. Like I saw Dragon Ball Z on Nickelodeon. I was like, ugh, that don't feel right. Like this is not where it started at. You know what I'm saying? Man. Like once I saw it there, I'm like, yo, this is not right.
I think I saw it on Nickelodeon.
It had Dragon Ball Z Kai on like.
Yeah. Did you watch Dragon Ball Z GT?
Yeah, I got that on. It used to be on Nicktoons, man. Never have I seen that. And I wouldn't have wanted, like, if it wasn't, basically, if I saw something start here, something like Dragon Ball Z, if I saw it on Cartoon Network, when I see it on TV, that's where I want to see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. When I saw it on Nicktoons and whatnot, or whatever, wherever it was somewhere on Nickelodeon, right? I was like, okay, I'll watch it, but I'm gonna be critiquing. And I was like, ain't no blood, ain't no this, ain't no that. Y'all tripping. Yeah. Like, put it back where it was. So what did y'all grow up watching? Who were y'all some of your inspirations as far as like shows and different things like that?
I'll let you go first, bro.
Let's see here. I'll say one of my favorite shows growing up was Avatar: Last Airbender.
Okay,
earlier, bro. That show was some of the best like world building, character development you will find in like television in general, not just animation. Like, in general, like Zuko probably has one of the most compelling redemption arcs ever. You know? And like the lengths they go to like, you know, represent like Eastern culture and like do it very tastefully and very respectfully is just like amazing. I pulled a lot from that. And then that Amazing World Gumball, that was my shit. Like,
okay.
That I think that and like Boondocks is where I kind of got like my humor for my stories and stuff like that. And there's other stuff. I could make a whole list and stuff like that. But that was another big one.
Would you say Steven Universe?
Steven
you
Universe,
were talking about it.
Yeah. Like that. I think that was I was in elementary school when that came out. No, middle school or something. But like the environmental design of that show was so crazy. And then the lore also really beautiful, man. Like
you said, the lore.
Yeah, the lore.
I have heard some interesting things about the lore, and I've started to realize when shows have some real lore, like what the Imaginary Friends show or whatever.
Foster Song?
I've heard there's some lore in that. I'm like, dang, it's lore for everything.
I would imagine that though. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, it's some lore for everything.
It really, like, cause I love. They didn't start with an origin story. They started with like, you know, Steven chilling with like his family, like his 3 like crystal gems, and like, they just living life in Beach City. But you don't know there was like a whole freaking 1,000-year war that decimated their like planet and stuff like that, and they like they have no home and stuff, and it like gets like depressing when you actually get into it. But then like there's just so much like history, like his mom, like the impact his mom had for better or for worse, because you'll find out later that like she just wasn't all peaches and rainbows, and like she did some fucked up shit, and kind of
sounds real.
Right,
sounds
and
real.
Like, and you'll see, I just love when stories kind of reveal parts of like a story, and then later it's like, all right, but here's the whole context of what happened, and then it's like, oh shit, like Naruto, for instance, like, you know, Itachi like took out the entire clan, but then I'm not sure. I think I remember hearing that they did kind of rewrite it to like make him seem like more of a good guy.
Okay.
But still though, like to go back and then like tell the whole story just like adds another layer to it, because you got to go back. It's like, all right, well, this changes this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
It just makes it such more like layer.
Because I was gonna say that about One Piece. If have y'all seen,
bro?
I'll step out of this.
Okay, bro. Okay. So like for me, One Piece. Okay, so like, do you want me to answer the first question first, or we're going to One Piece first?
You can answer the first question first.
Okay, so for me, I'll tell you, SpongeBob is just first off, it's just the OG. SpongeBob, Adventure Time, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, especially Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the show that used to come on Cartoon Network, was my shit, man.
Yeah.
Did I say Adventure Time?
Yes,
I said Adventure Time, and then Static Shock. Static Shock, bro.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Static Shock,
that's a
bro,
strong
because
answer.
I just feel I feel like Static Shock is just like answer. I just miss, because like early 2000s here's what I'm saying. Some people might disagree. I feel like that maybe 1998 to like maybe, I don't know, like 2005 maybe, I don't know, like, but like that's like peak, just peak, like not peak, but it's peak. Not peak, but it's just so great, because Static Shock is so good, because they talk about such real things, but they do it on a children's show, right? You know what I'm saying? For example, like there's like that one episode where I forget his friend. What's his white friend in Static Shock? I
cannot remember his
name. You remember like that one episode where his dad didn't like Virgil because he was black. Yes. That's a real, and that's something that's real. That's happened to me, like in my childhood. Like my friend, like, you know, my friends who are non-black, their parents not really messing with me, right? Then there's the other episode, like with the school shooting. And then like that happened way before we start seeing like all the school shootings, and like that's real stuff. But they have it in like in a kid's show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why like Static Shock so much is that you have like this really like cool kid who has like these like superpowers, but it's real at the same time.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars is one of my favorite because like I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid. My dad bought me all the DVDs on bootleg, and I used to watch.
You a fan?
Dude, like, I used to watch them watch Star Wars religiously at the crib, and when Star Wars: The Clone Wars came on, it was crazy. But like even Star Wars like is pretty great because I feel like one of the things that like I always think about is the actual clones and how they're so valiant, and like how like the Republic, they stand for like for the most part like some pretty good things. But when you think about the clones, it's like, okay, you have the Separatists who have like the droids, they use robots to fight. The Republic use actual people. Like they breed people to go ahead and fight.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? To like go ahead and fight in different wars. But they're like, yo, we stand for like freedom, democracy, and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, but what's maybe another country that like, or maybe like a real world example that might be on that same type of thing? I'm not gonna say, but like, you know, I just feel like that's also an interesting thing because like I remember you would see like your boy Anakin going like, you know, planet to planet, like, yo, join the Republic, you know?
Yeah.
And just even seeing him like all the lightsaber stuff and like all that kind of cool, but like even Anakin, like he's a very like nuanced character. Like he's very much like, I'm gonna get it how it is.
Yeah,
and he's like gonna do whatever he wants for like justice at that time. Like even if it means like at times morally not being the best character, and you kind of see that too. But it's like, you know, he's pretty cool dude. But like that, and then regular show, bro. Regular show is just like the humor in that is just like crazy. You'd be like, hey, yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the episode, you ever seen the episode with Tyler the Creator and Childish Gambino?
I think I did, yeah.
They're like
where they're doing the rap battle in the park?
Yeah.
And that episode is just like so cool because it's like, it's cool because like they're hanging out, but then you have like some off the wall. They'll be like, yo, we gotta like get some of the best grilled cheeses in the world. And then like next thing you know,
that's some random
the
stuff.
Park,
That's
like
some
the park
random
is about to be going and everything, you know? But like those would be like mine. Like, cause like I just like how just like random it is and just like the humor in it. Yeah.
See what I like and what I can see is,
and then also the Boondocks too, of course.
Of course, yeah. So what I can see is in some of y'all's inspirations and obviously how it's showing through in what y'all got and what y'all have here, because like in the Boondocks, honestly, they always had some social commentary going, and they also had a lot of comedy, which can still be like some social commentary. Then basically what you were just talking about in Star Wars, you were like, yeah, this thing is happening in this story, but this is how these kinds of things can maybe reflect in the real world. And then for me, like when you brought up Tyler the Creator and Childish Gambino in an episode, I love when shows kind of have just people that are of interest to us. Like let's say you watching your favorite TV show, or let's say I'm watching my favorite TV show, right? And then I see Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, oh, snap. You know what I mean? Like whoever your favorite artist is or whoever your favorite entertainer is, they show up in some content that you're watching or in a show, you feel even more drawn to it because like this is really drawing me in, but they know their audience because they know I like this. Like I love things like that. And then to touch on Static Shock real quick, one of the reasons why that was such a strong choice to me is because I never saw this episode, but I have seen like an edit of it, and it was basically about, I think when Virgil went to Africa, and he was like, I'm not just another black kid, like a black kid in Africa.
Dude,
I'm
I
just
had the
a
same
kid.
experience when I went, man.
You went to Africa?
I did. I went to South Africa back in high school.
Never been to Africa. Got to work on it.
It's a spiritual experience.
Yeah,
man.
like when he said that, I remember in the edit, I watched it a few times because I was like, I think it was maybe a superhero that was from Africa too.
Is Spider Nancy?
I cannot remember. I can't remember for the life of me, but he had gone to Africa and it was something I hadn't really heard or thought of yet. He was like, I'm not, a black kid in Africa. In Africa, I'm a kid. Like, cause I'm the majority over here.
Somewhere.
Yeah. I was like, whoa. This show got deep, but it was digestible still. And I think those are the kinds of things that I always love in any kinds of art because, for example, again, I keep bringing up Kendrick Lamar, but that's one of my favorite artists, right? What I always say is important is if you can make music that is important, that slaps. So it's like, it's something important in it, but it slaps. And the first song I always point to is All Right, right? Because that became the song of a movement. Yeah. But it slapped. So it's like, I'm a one to listen to it. Some people get lyrical miracle, all that, and then you don't want to listen to them. But, I think it's good when you can do those kinds of things in your art where it's like, there's something important here, but I can still make it digestible to where you want to read it, look at it, watch it, listen to it, all those kinds of things. And then to go back to One Piece real quick, when you were talking about like exposing more of a story kind of at a later point to add layers and to add context, I feel like One Piece is one of the best pieces of art that can do that. I'm guessing you don't watch it, you're not caught up, nothing like that. Not saying you have to. I've always said if you watch it, that's like a lifetime achievement award because it's a literal 1,000 episodes. Yeah. I know Dragon Ball Z through everything it has is up to about 1,000, but One Piece has been going since it started and is still at 1,000. So yeah, but
definitely intimidated by that.
I get it. But once you start, before you know it, you're clearing episodes. You're like, oh yeah, I'm catching up. So yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, so like for me, what I did is I watched like 700 episodes, and then I split between the manga and the show. So I'd watch the show during the fights, and then I read the manga just to like basic like stuff, you know what I'm saying?
I don't really read mangas anymore just because of how far ahead it typically is. And I'm like, I'm gonna see the end of the show before I watch it. And sometimes that's cool. Most of the time I want to be surprised at what happens as I'm watching it compared to like I've already seen the end of My Hero Academia. But
let's not talk about it.
I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it. But I've already seen it. I would like to watch it. So people anime, tell me like, have you watched it? Like I'm pretty far in Jujutsu Kaisen too, right?
I finished Jujutsu Kaisen.
I would like to watch it. That's what I prefer.
I finished the manga. Wow. And I say like I feel that because I don't know, it's a different experience. Like I love to be that type of nigga. Be like, oh bro, I read the manga. You don't even know what happened, bro. Like I'm so cool, but like but at the same time, I don't even trip no more. It's the anime. Like it's like, I mean, like watching some of the fights in it, it's just like so crazy, bro, you know? So that's about it.
Yeah. And I do want to kind of go back to DreamCon. So what was y'all's experience like at DreamCon this year? What were some things that were better as far as like how people received y'all's art, or were any things, a little different, not worse, but like things that you realized, okay, we need to work on this to get people more engaged? Anything like that?
Yeah. So I like... You never like first of all the Kendrick Lamar piece that we have. So I can go get it right now. Actually,
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I was just curious because like at DreamCon, I'm not a vendor. I wasn't a vendor. I don't have any art or anything like that. But I think it would be cool to like. It's just interesting seeing what people learn about how they can maybe improve as a creative, but also as a professional at these kinds of cons, because I'm sure to an extent y'all were nervous, right? Because it's not like y'all getting on stage for anything, but at the same time, it's like you have something to present to people. So I know that there can be like you kind of want feedback. So yeah,
what were some things y'all got? Feedback on that, like it's always like a dice roll. You never know like what art people are messing with. Like one of our neighbors, he was just like, yeah, man, 1 year all my original pieces sold, none of my like fan art, and then 1 year all my fan art sold, none of my originals. That's kind of like for instance, like this one, I thought it would do better, but like we ain't sold out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, but this is one of my like favorite pieces I've ever done.
Yeah.
And like, I put so much heart into it and stuff like that. You just never know how something would like be like received. And I took it as this experience. I'm like, I'm not even gonna feel the type of way about it because I know like I kicked ass doing this shit. Almost 8 years on that shit.
Right.
And like that, so that's one learning experience, is like that doesn't define like how good something is just because like, I don't know. And but I think other stuff that we want to work on is just like being more prepared and having stuff like in ahead of time. You know what I mean? That's another learning experience. And just how to like be more engaging and like kind of be a better salesperson, I guess. Cause that's an aspect to it too, which I hate as an artist, but
that makes so much sense. I feel like a lot of, because I've seen people say, like the music will sell itself, or the art will sell itself, and then I saw someone say, no, it won't. Like the first time you heard a song, sometimes it's in a movie. You didn't just find the song, you heard it in a movie. Or your friend was like, did you hear that new album? Nah, I didn't. Or have you heard this new artist? No, I haven't. Like that's kind of how it goes. So I get you, because I've done creative things where it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna let it be, and the people that it needs to find, it'll find. Because sometimes you don't want to have to do that, because then you feel some people just don't want to be sold. You know what I mean? They like, if I like it, I'll get it. But sometimes like you say that until I tell you why this would resonate with you, right? And then they're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Exactly. I had to tell you that. Or you had to see it in the movie that, like, you ever seen a movie where the music hits so good in the scene? Like, you have to find the song at that point.
I'll be Shazamming.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. And I think it's just funny because it's like, that's what I would hear. That's what I expect to hear from an artist. It's like, I don't always want to do that, but sometimes you do. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a mix of like, because you always want to be humble, but like if you don't beat your chest, nobody's gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's also being strategic about like how you do do certain things, right? So whenever you see like rappers, there's like I think a lot of times people like to get on rappers because they be like, oh, they buy all these chains, they wear all this designer, they do all that, but it's like that makes you pay attention to them though.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they do, like they buy all the cars, but if they wasn't buying the cars, you wouldn't be seen. I'm not saying that you wouldn't.
No, I got you. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's
like,
something that's always been interesting.
Your musicians have like a look. Like when you see like Sexy Red, what does she have? She has like these like real bright red weaves. Like she had, not red weaves, red wigs.
Yeah.
Right? And she has like, you know, really like her glasses. That's something, you know, a trademark Sexy Red type of thing. And when you see her, you know Sexy Red. So it's like your branding. It's like a mix of those things.
It's hilarious that's your first example, but it worked though. But I'm just
okay. Like let me give a better example. Like, okay,
I mean, to be honest, like it's funny because it's just funny, but at the same time, it works very well because if I see red hair, boom, you see some glasses, boom, because you don't usually see her without either. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see glasses, you're going to see her hair, you're going to see her tattoos, boom. Other people, if I had to think, I'm like, what would you, like, I don't know, for Drake, like he dresses lavishly and all that, but even still, like, other than his face,
racially ambiguous.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
like other than his face, like, I feel like what the example you gave, I wasn't expecting that example. I'll say that, but it's still a strong example. That's all.
Okay, but like Meg Thee Stallion.
Okay.
I think there's nothing to say. Like it's kind of a little bit obvious as far as like body and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But like, she's also in the anime.
And she's also a stallion. She's like 5'9", 5'10", bro. You're gonna notice Meg Thee Stallion, bro. She's a literal stallion.
Yeah.
It's like, and then even like within like your lyrics, there's this one Florida rapper. It's like his name is like Rugrat something. But he's like, so he's a white rapper. He's from the hood, and he has like these really funny lyrics. Like, so one of his lyrics is like, "Cracker got an AR like he's shooting schools up." So it's like, and that's a crazy lyric. It's a crazy lyric, but it goes. It's a crazy. Okay, but it's like it's a crazy lyric, but it goes viral though.
Right.
You see him and you know, like you're gonna remember his name because he said some wild ass shit.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't support like.
Of course.
But you understand what you gave,
yeah. I got you.
I guess like how I see it kind of like gets into like integrity and stuff like that, you know, because you definitely need that thing that like makes you unique. But then trying to go out your way to like make something work or like make something use is kind of that. I feel like that kind of does you a disservice as an artist.
No, I hear you.
Too.
It's hard finding that balance.
Yeah,
balance too. Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get lost in that. You like, all right, you so like getting chains and stuff like that. Like you could like, all right, I'm trying to get chains to fit this look, but then it just like starts to like stray away from like, all right, what am I actually doing this for?
Actually doing.
That's so easy.
Think about J. Cole.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you.
Yeah, Chain and Day, that's one of my favorite shit, bro.
Because like J. Cole used to wear all the fits and everything. I mean, now he wears like a white t-shirt and he's like riding bikes and shit. So it's like
it makes me think about something that my cousin tends to tell me, but it's the difference between, you know, you trying and you being. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So it's hard because when you care, you do want to try. Like you want people to see this or you want people to feel this from you and all that. But when you are being, it comes from like a more secure and kind of confident place. It's like, whether you accept this or not, I do. and we're good to go from there. Right. So yeah, I wasn't even really expecting the conversation to go here, but yeah, like I think this has been interesting because we've been able to talk about. I thought about getting more in depth about the black masculinity thing, but I feel like we'll just let the people find out when they read.
Oh, actually, because I was low key thinking in my head, there was like a piece to it that I missed that was like kind of important to it. This is something I like fleshed out when I was working on the film, but it gets into like the themes that kind of also follow with that the umbrella. Like I wanted to since like 3 different characters, I wanted the story to like revolve around 3 somewhat central themes and stuff like that. And we made this diagram. It's a very interesting diagram. So you have a wheel, right? And you have the 3 characters on like their respective sides. And then the space in between it, you had the 3 different themes. So one was Black kids navigating white spaces, socioeconomic class and its impact on the Black community or the Black family. And then I think was like, how do you portray your Blackness and stuff like that?
I think it was represent your Blackness. Represent your Blackness
then,
was what it was.
So each of the characters, they are tied. So on the diagram, you have 2 themes. I'd have to pull up the picture. You can edit it in or something like that. But like,
we can send it to you, bro.
Let's say it's like there would be a point
here.
No, we have like a pitch deck.
Yeah, pitch deck.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. You can pull it up real quick like while I'm waiting. But so basically, you'll have like, so let's say Chris is right here. You'll have like navigating white spaces and socioeconomic class in the Black family. So he's from the suburbs, and James is from like the east side, Avondale and stuff like that. And so in between that, you kind of see that dynamic. It was just like, all right, well, they're on 2 different sides of the same coin. And then as opposed to like, all right, so representing like your Black identity. Kelvin, who's a star basketball player, he kind of almost exploits his identity as a Black athlete and kind of attributes to the fact that like, all right, you're in this like predominantly white space. How do you go about conducting yourself? Like, are you seen as a menace? Are you seen as like the star? You know, how we like are viewed like over time, like it changes. So like, you know, we were menaces. We were like the super criminals. We were all this, but then you get to a certain point where they start to love us. You know, like we were the athletes. They adore us, but then they only really love you if you're entertaining them, really.
Facts.
You know, and so then it's just like,
boy, you touching on some.
And then so like him as a kid, he's starting in the West End, had to move up to the suburbs. So it's like him understanding like, all right, this is like how my identity like changed to this different instances. Like I'm gonna like use that to my advantage. Whereas Chris, on the other hand, like being in the suburbs, he kind of was grown to like assimilate to that environment. And so they have 2 different ways of going about it, you know, and like, and I think James, he gatekeeps.
He's just like, fuck it, like I'm not even gonna be a part of it, man.
Yeah, I'm standoffish. I don't know like how to like navigate these white spaces like how these other guys do, because it's like, this isn't for me. This isn't how I'm supposed to live my life. And even gets to the standpoint of like, he'll kind of judge people like Chris is like, or Kelvin is like, yeah, like, I ain't representing like how like we should. This is how like you should be Black. If you not like jaded, if you ain't like if you have like a loving family, you know, like what is that like? How like they're almost taught that that has to be part of like the identity, you know, and like that's some of the toxic things in the Black community. That's what I was saying, like how we're pitted against each other, but really like. The dream is to like move your family, like not forget your family that's still there. Like you still like gotta keep grounded and like keep the family closer and make sure that I don't want to say this, that you can kind of get to a different point or upward mobility, those kinds of things.
Yeah, like you want to progress,
but but you can't like leave your family behind. You know what I mean? But then
it's like selling out, man. Because I'll give you an example. Like for me, like I went to private school,
right?
So like, but from K through 9, like I went to public school. So it's like, you know, I had, you know, I was in white spaces, but we also had some hood niggas at my school too.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, it's a balance to it, man.
Right.
And you know, for me, like I always grew up like I don't know what your experience was, but I was a smart nigga in all my classes. So
right.
Like, yo, bro, you got this dude or whatever like that. But it's also a balance, like he's saying, because it's like you know, you want to be able to like show your blackness and everything, but you also don't want to be out here dancing for real. You know what I'm saying? And kind of just be like,
I think I get what you
like because
being performative with stuff.
Not performative, but you ever like see like you don't want to be token. You know what I'm saying?
No,
because like a lot of like you be in these white spaces and they want you to be black because they can show up like, this is my black friend Brock and he does all this. Brock, go ahead, tell him a joke real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like you get some of that, but it's also the same. You know what I'm saying? But and then there's also like, then you got some people who just like, okay, like they have no reference of what it means to be black because they've grown up in white spaces, so that's just them. But then you also got some people who's like, listen, bro, like I'm gonna be me. I'm not going to change, but because of that, they're not able to get into those white spaces.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Dang. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of like a mix of things, because that was one of the things like for me with my parents, they had like kind of balance, because like, okay, do we send him to private school and he doesn't get to interact, like he doesn't get to interact with his people, you know, we don't want our son to be whitewashed, or do we make sure that he can get a high quality education as well too? Yeah. You know, so it's balanced things.
Dang. And y'all are saying that like all of these things are basically within the story.
It's within the story. As the story progresses, you'll see more and more and more.
Okay. Yeah. Well then, I feel like that is a good place to stop, because I don't want to spoil nothing. I don't want y'all spoiling it for me. Like I gotta get into the nitty gritty myself. But I want to say thank y'all for being guests, man. I'm glad we got to nerd out, bro.
Yeah, like, for sure, man.
I feel like I don't, because I think at DreamCon, I saw a lot of shirts that said, I love nerds. That geeked me up. I'm like, I've been a nerd. I used to call myself a cool nerd, and I was cool with it. Like, people that wear glasses, I thought that they were nerdy. And I always thought that was cool. I used to think if you wore glasses, you were smarter or whatever. But just being at DreamCon, seeing all these different kinds of people that are into anime, gaming, black culture, hip hop culture, WWE, all these different things where it's like it all came together. I was in there dancing. I was, sweating my tail off, just enjoying myself.
My big ass, of course I would.
Like it was a good time. And again, like I said, we were able to nerd out together in this space. And I feel like that's not... Unless you can do it with your close friends, but it's not like you could do it in a massive space like that and look weird for it. Everyone was accepting. They say, bro, I know what that is. Right. I appreciate that fit. I like that. It was, and then I thought it was great.
Layer on that, like being in a black space too. Yeah. Like, which is just so crazy. And that's why I love like DreamCon, man, because it's like you don't never get to see like a whole bunch of like us there. Like even for me, like, you know, like when I see people doing cosplay or something like that and they're black, I'm like, okay, like, you know, I can do this too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you see, it shows, even though, like, let's say the character is not black or whatever, what we see of ourselves in that character or someone within our community or just what we like about it. I think that it was beautiful that we can express ourselves in that way. And again, I'm happy I saw y'all there. I was messaging him. I said, where y'all at? Let me know the booth.
For sure,
I'm coming. I promise you. First day I found y'all, I think y'all had one issue, not the other. I was like, I will be back. I promise you. I will be back. I said, I'm going to come get both issues. I'm going to get them autographed. I'm like, the whole shebang, I'm going to need it all. So
I want to like touch, like, because you guys said some really great as far as just like actually being able to like nerd out and like just go like go all in with people and not feel like ashamed of it, because that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, you know, we're like kind of it's like they kind of shaming on us that we had like love something they're so passionate about so much, but then we're talking like, all right, on the outside, you know, people be so dull. People be like, you know, it's hard to connect and you wonder why, but then and it's just like they're like scared to be part of themselves, or like they don't even want to like look into something like more than that, you know what I mean? And, yeah, bro. Just it's in that environment. It's just more fulfilling. You feel more seen.
It was a good time, man.
But no, y'all leave it there.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, seriously, I appreciate y'all. I'm glad I was able to get some of y'all's work. I'm gonna be reading it. I'm definitely gonna be telling people about it as well, because it's like, bro, where you from? You ever heard this comic called The 513? Bro, this is about us, bro. It's about us. Sure, like, man. I'm gonna be excited. So yeah, and I wanted y'all to go ahead and tell the people where they can find y'all, what they expect to see coming up, because y'all were telling me about something. I don't know if y'all want to talk about it now. Y'all don't have to, but it's okay if y'all don't want to.
Wait, what?
About the
Type shit.
Yeah.
You want me to go ahead and plug everything?
So, I mean,
at least plug y'all, y'all socials, Instagrams, all that.
So I'll plug the socials. You can follow us on Instagram right now at Bigg41.art. So say that again.
Bigg, 2 G's, because people mess up the first G.
Yeah.
Bigg41.art. And then
and then the store is Bigg41store.com. And then I'll say that again, Bigg41store.com. So we got we got posters, we got books, so
t-shirts, and it's fire.
T-shirts.
We got a couple of these left.
Yeah.
I grab one of these.
We got stand up shoulder shirt.
Yeah, so if you can see it.
Yeah, this is obviously
only got a couple more sizes left.
Yeah, but this is like a Rock Lee, like Brutus collab.
Yeah,
hence the pose and stuff like that.
Yeah, big bet.
And you can find that on there as well. But
yeah, I'm happy we got to do this, man. Especially
fun.
Especially
I thought it was gonna be like an interview or something.
No.
I've never done none of these before, bro. So this is dope. I fucked with it.
I appreciate y'all, man. And I want to say thank you to the viewer, to the listener, watcher of this episode. I hope that you've been able to take something away. Again, check out their stuff. I'm gonna have it in the link and all that. I feel like y'all got to see me nerd out. We got to nerd out together. I love being able to just nerd out, bro. Like, I love it. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure I plug all their stuff. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and tell a friend. And again, I hope that you were able to take something away from this episode. And that's been your episode. We're gonna look at that black camera right there. And that's been it. Peace out.
All right, deuces.
Appreciate y'all.